All things were made by him, and without him was made nothing that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend. John 1:3-5. Et homo factus est. Humanly speaking, the time of Advent must have been the happiest time in Our Lady's life. The world about her must have been informed with more than its habitual loveliness, for she was gathering it all to the making of her Son. But sometimes a pang of grief must have shot through her. For example, when the young wheat grew, and she saw it pierce the earth with little swords. Perhaps the first sword to pierce her heart was a blade of green wheat. For was not her precious burden a grain of wheat sown in a field? Was he not bread, the world's bread, that must be broken? Everything must have spoken to her of him, as if the beauty of the world was one more prophecy. To children it seems perfectly natural that God's thoughts should become snow and water and stars, and creation itself is simply his meditation on Christ. The seed in the earth is the unborn child. The snow on the field is the Virgin Mother's purity. The bloom on the blackthorn flowering through the land, his birth. The falling of the red rose leaves foretells his passion. The wheat is bound in sheaves, because he was bound. It is threshed, because he was scourged. The fruit is red on the bough, because he was crucified. Because he rose from the dead, spring returns to us again. If such is the beauty of the world to ordinary children, what must it have been to the Mother of God, when her whole being was folded upon the unborn Christ within her? He was completely her own, utterly dependent on her, upon her. She was his food and warmth and rest, his shelter from the world, his shade in the sun. She was the shrine of the sacrament, the four walls and the roof of his home. Yet she must have longed to hold him between her hands, and to look into his human face, and to see in it, in the face of God, a family likeness to herself. Think of that. But perhaps you cannot, unless you happen to be a young priest